All right, let's dive into something a little terrifying, a question that really, really gets to the core of what it means to be, well, us. Imagine this. What if, like right now, with absolutely no warning, every single random thought, every little secret judgment, every one of those fleeting fears that pops into your head was suddenly broadcast for everyone to see? I mean, completely exposed. No filter, no secrets. What do you think happens to our world then? Okay, so the first thing we'd see, we're calling it the Great Unraveling. This is the immediate, shocking, chaotic aftermath of this brand new reality. And look, to put it mildly, the first few hours and days, just total chaos. Every single social rule we've ever learned would just, poof, become completely useless.
I mean, just think about your day-to-day interactions. You know those little white lies we all tell? The ones that kind of grease the wheels of society? Yeah, those are gone. So when someone says, "It's so great to see you," you'd also see their real thought. "I really hope this doesn't take long." Ouch.
And the human cost would be immediate and massive. Your closest friendships, your family, everything would be strained to the absolute breaking point. Because let's be real. We say we love honesty, but we totally rely on a little bit of privacy to make our relationships work. Okay, so personal relationships are in total shambles. Now let's zoom out a bit and see what happens to the big pillars of society, like our jobs and our love lives. Spoiler, it's not pretty. Just picture it. You walk into the office. You'd know instantly what your boss really thinks about your performance. You'd see that your coworker is actually gunning for your job. Trust would become this all or nothing thing. Either it becomes absolute, based on this radical transparency, or it just completely collapses and good luck getting anything done then. And listen, if the workplace sounds like a minefield, well, romance would be a whole other kind of war zone. The entire concept of love and intimacy, it would have to be completely redefined from the ground up. On the surface, it sounds kind of nice, right? The promise of no more guessing games, no more lies, perfect understanding. But here's the huge problem. Our thoughts about the people we love are messy. They're confusing, contradictory, and they change from one second to the next. Seriously, could any relationship survive seeing every single fleeting doubt, every flash of frustration in real time? But here's the thing about people. We're pretty resilient. So after all that initial chaos and collapse, we'd have to adapt. We'd have to create a totally new social contract for this world without secrets. And this change wouldn't be fast. Not at all. You're looking at total chaos on day one, a full year of social collapse, then maybe a decade of what we're calling the Great Adaptation. It would probably take a whole new generation to be born into this world to find some kind of new normal. So, how would we do it? How do we adapt? Well, one idea is that we develop a brand new skill, thought control. I mean, literally learning to consciously manage and filter your own internal monologue before it goes public. This isn't just about being polite anymore. This is a straight-up survival skill. But there is another option, a more, let's say, optimistic one. What if instead of controlling our thoughts, we just learn to accept them? Think about it. When you can literally see that everyone has the same weird, flawed, and sometimes dark thoughts that you do, maybe we'd stop judging each other. Maybe we'd find empathy instead. The whole idea of perfection would just die, and radical acceptance would take its place. And this is where things get really deep. This whole scenario forces us to ask a huge philosophical question. It's not just about social rules anymore. It's about who we fundamentally are. Seriously, take a second and think about this. Are you ready to be truly understood? Not just heard, but completely, totally known, with absolutely nothing held back. Is that something any of us actually want? Because here's the real problem at the heart of it all. We have this idea that our thoughts are us, that what you think is who you are. But in a world like this, we'd be forced to face a pretty tough truth. That's not always the case. I mean, what are thoughts, really? They're impulses, reactions, random passing ideas, fleeting judgments, unfiltered fears. It's just a constant stream. It's not a list of your core beliefs. Judging someone on that stream would be like judging a chef based on a pile of raw, uncooked ingredients. It's just not the finished product. So let me ask you this. If you knew the world was judging you for every single one of those thoughts, would you still be you? Or would you start censoring yourself, becoming this carefully curated and maybe a less human version of yourself? And that right there, that brings us to the final big paradox of this whole idea. the massive price we might have to pay for what seems like such a noble goal: honesty. It's the ultimate trade-off, isn't it? On one side, you have a world without secrets. It sounds so pure, so honest. But on the other side, you might have a world without freedom. The freedom to think your own messy thoughts, to have doubts, to just wonder. Basically, the freedom to be human. Maybe that private space inside our own heads is the most important freedom we've got. So, I'll leave you with that question. Which world would you choose? Our messy, imperfect, private world right now, or a perfectly transparent one? Whew, if this one made you think, do us a favor, hit that like button. And I really want to know, drop a comment below and tell us, do you think you could survive in this world? And of course, subscribe for more deep dives into the big what ifs. Thanks for hanging out with us.